Be me, 6-year-old feminist dating boyfriend for 2 years, going strong. He's great guy, works in finance. I work in nonprofit sector. Relationship is solid. We're talking about future and moving in together. One day, we're walking past jewelry store with engagement rings in window. He stops to look at them and comments about which styles are pretty. Immediately launch into lecture about engagement ring industry being scam. Tell him diamonds are artificially inflated in price by De Beers monopoly. Explain how diamond mining involves exploitation of workers in developing countries. Point out engagement rings are symbol of ownership and women as property. Tell him spending thousands on a rock is materialistic capitalist consumerism. Say any money spent on ring should go to charity or meaningful causes. He listens carefully and says, "That's interesting perspective. I never considered." Feel proud that I educated him about problematic nature of engagement rings. Never occurs to me he's taking mental notes for our future together. Few weeks later, we're at friend's engagement party celebrating with them. Bride showing off her ring to all the women gathered around, admiring. It's beautiful princess-cut diamond in platinum setting, clearly expensive. She's glowing with happiness, telling story of how he proposed romantically. Other women coo-pooing over ring, asking to try it on, taking pictures. I stand back and make comment about blood diamonds and ethical concerns. Tell group that engagement rings are patriarchal tradition of ownership symbolism. Explain how ring industry manipulates women into wanting overpriced rocks. Several women look uncomfortable and bride looks hurt by my commentary. Boyfriend pulls me aside and says, maybe let her enjoy her moment today. Tell him someone needs to speak truth about these oppressive traditions always. He sighs and says, okay, but maybe not at her engagement party specifically. Feel frustrated that people don't want to hear facts about their choices. Months pass and relationship getting more serious. Discussing marriage timeline. He asks me casually what kind of wedding I'd want someday. Tell him traditional weddings are patriarchal performances I don't believe in. He asks about marriage itself, if I even want to get married eventually. Say yes, I believe in partnership and legal benefits, but not the traditions. He asks specifically about engagement and proposal expectations I might have. Immediately tell him, I don't want engagement ring because they're materialistic waste. Remind him about diamond industry exploitation and artificial pricing schemes we discussed. Tell him if we get engaged, I want simple proposal without expensive jewelry. Say we should put that money toward house down payment or investments instead. He nods thoughtfully and says, okay, good to know your preferences clearly. Feel satisfied that I've communicated my values about engagement from start. Year 3 of relationship. And all our friends are getting engaged now. Every few weeks, another couple announcing engagement, showing off rings. Women at gatherings comparing rings, discussing carats and settings and styles. I consistently refuse to participate in these conversations about jewelry. Make comments about how I'd never want my boyfriend spending money on ring. Tell them I've already told them I don't believe in engagement rings at all. Friends look at me strangely and say most women want ring, even if not expensive. Tell them they've been brainwashed by jewelry industrial complex propaganda clearly. Boyfriend is there when I say this, and he nods along, remembering my stance. Feel proud that I'm staying true to my principles unlike other women here. Notice boyfriend has been acting slightly distant and preoccupied lately past weeks. Ask if everything is okay, and he says yes, just thinking about future. Assume he's planning proposal and feel excited despite my anti-ring stance. Tell myself I'll be happy with simple proposal without materialistic jewelry. Imagine him proposing on hike or at home, just us, without expensive production. Feel smug that our engagement will be more authentic than our friends' staged ones. Tell my coworkers I think boyfriend might propose soon without ring, obviously. They ask how I feel about no ring, and I say, relieved not to participate. Explain my beliefs about engagement rings being wasteful capitalist symbols again. Coworker says she'd still want something to show engaged, even if not diamond. Tell her that's internalized patriarchy, and she doesn't need symbol of ownership. Month later, boyfriend takes me to nice restaurant where we had first date. Think this might be the proposal moment finally after 3 years together. He's nervous and fidgeting with napkin. Seems like he has something important. After dinner, he takes my hand and says he's been thinking about our future. Tells me he loves me and wants to spend his life with me forever. asks me to marry him right there at the restaurant table romantically, feel surge of happiness and immediately say yes. Of course I'll marry you. Wait for him to pull out ring box, even though I said I didn't want one. He smiles and hugs me and calls waiter over to order champagne celebration. Waiter congratulates us, and I'm still waiting for ring box to appear somehow. Champagne comes, and we toast to our engagement and future together as couple. Keep glancing at his pockets, wondering if ring is coming as surprise, despite my stance. He seems genuinely happy and excited about engagement. Talking about wedding planning, realize slowly that there's no ring coming at all. He took me at my word. We tell friends and family we're engaged, and everyone congratulates us happily. Immediately notice all the women looking at my left hand for ring instinctively. There's awkward pause when they see bare hand with no ring at all. Friends ask to see ring, and I have to explain there isn't one. Tell them I don't believe in engagement rings, so we're not doing that tradition. They look confused and ask if I'm going to get simple band at least. Say no. I told them from beginning I think rings are materialistic waste. Friends exchange glances and change subject, but I see pity in their eyes. Feel defensive like I need to explain my choice, even though it's what I wanted. Boyfriend seems unbothered by questions about ring, just says she didn't want one. Sister calls to congratulate on engagement and immediately asks about ring. Tell her same explanation about not believing in engagement ring tradition. She's quiet, then asks if I'm sure that's what I really wanted. Get annoyed and say yes. I've been very clear about my values from start. She says, okay, just checking because you sound a little disappointed actually. Tell her I'm not disappointed at all. I'm living my principles consistently. Hang up, feeling irritated that everyone assumes I secretly wanted ring despite my words. Sit looking at bare left hand, feeling strange about lack of visible engagement symbol. Tell myself I'm being irrational and I should be happy I stood by principles. Can't shake feeling that something is missing, even though this is what I demanded. Go to work and coworkers notice I'm engaged from my announcement on social media. They immediately look at my hand and a faces fall when they see no ring. Congratulate me but clearly confused about absence of any engagement jewelry. Explain again my beliefs about rings being materialistic and exploitative industry. One coworker says she understands, but asks if boyfriend offered and I declined. Realize he never actually offered ring because I told him beforehand not to. Never had choice to decline because I made my position clear from beginning. Coworker looks sad for me and says, "That's too bad. You didn't get to choose." Tell her I did choose. This is exactly what I wanted. Stop pitying me. Walk away feeling upset, even though I can't explain why I'm feeling this way. Weekend at family gathering and relatives asking to see my engagement ring. Have to explain over and over that I don't have one by choice and principle. Aunts and grandmother look shocked that I'm engaged without ring at all. Grandmother says she's never heard of engagement without ring in her life. Tell her times are changing and I don't believe in wasteful traditions. She looks at boyfriend sadly like he did something wrong by not getting ring. He explains that I was very clear I didn't want ring, so he respected wishes. Family seems unconvinced, like they think he's cheap or I'm making excuse for him. Feel need to defend both of us, even though we made choice I supposedly wanted. Notice my sister showing off her engagement ring from last year, looking beautiful. Feel unexpected pang of jealousy, looking at her diamond sparkling on her finger. Go wedding dress. Shopping with friends who are all engaged or married. They're all wearing their engagement rings, and I notice mine is only bare hand. Consultant at store asks to see my ring, and I give same explanation again. She says, "Oh, how modern and progressive," but her tone sounds pitying, not admiring. Trying on dresses and keep looking at my bare hand in mirror, feeling strange. Other brides have engagement rings sparkling while they try on white dresses. Feel like I'm missing something even though I told myself I didn't need it. Friend takes photo of us and I'm only one without ring visible in picture. Post it anyway, but feel weird about my obviously bare left hand in frame. Tell myself I'm being stupid and I should be confident in my choices. Notice at social events that people can't tell I'm engaged without ring. Have to explain that yes, I'm engaged even though there's no ring present. Gets tiresome. Explaining my political stance on rings to every new person. Start feeling like my engagement isn't real or legitimate without visible marker. Boyfriend doesn't have to explain anything because men don't wear engagement rings. I'm the one constantly justifying why my hand is bare to everyone who asks. Feel resentful that I have to defend my choice when it was supposed to liberate me. Never considered that ring serves practical purpose of showing relationship status. Clearly thought it was just materialistic symbol, but it's also social communication tool. Year of engagement passes and planning wedding without traditional elements. Decided against white dress, bridal party, bouquet. Toss all the traditional stuff, keeping it simple, civil ceremony with small reception. Following after that, friends planning their weddings with all traditional elements and obvious excitement. They're bonding over wedding planning, showing each other inspiration, boards, and rings. I'm planning alone because rejected all the traditions they are enjoying together. Feel isolated from wedding planning talk because I have nothing to contribute or share. They discuss their rings and dresses and venues while I sit silently judging them. Realize I've excluded myself from this bonding experience by rejecting everything. Boyfriend asks if I'm happy with our wedding plans and I say yes, unconvincingly. Wedding day arrives, and I'm getting ready without traditional bridal experience. No white dress, no bridesmaids, no flowers, just simple ceremony we planned. Look at my bare hand one more time before ceremony, feeling empty somehow. Think about how I'll never have engagement ring photos or proposal story with ring. Never have moment of him getting down on knee and opening ring box for me. Never experience seeing sparkle on my finger for first time and feeling special. Told myself these things don't matter. But standing here, I feel their absence. Walk down to ceremony area, and boyfriend is waiting with simple gold wedding bands. We exchange vows and put on wedding bands in front of small group gathered. Look at thin gold band on my finger and feel disappointed even though I shouldn't. Months into marriage and see engagement rings everywhere on other women's hands. Can't stop noticing what I don't have sparkling on everyone else's fingers. Feel regret every time I see beautiful ring, but refuse to admit it out loud. Husband catches me staring at jewelry store window. One day asks if I'm okay. Say I'm fine, but he knows I'm lying. Can see it in his face. Brings it up later, asks if I regret not having engagement ring from him. Get immediately defensive and angry. Tell him no. I stand by my principles. He says, okay, just checking because you seem sad about it lately. Tell him I'm not sad. I'm just tired of everyone judging my choices. He drops it, but I see disappointment in his eyes that I won't be honest. Sister announces she's pregnant and talks about passing her ring to daughter. Mentions how her engagement ring will be family heirloom with story attached. I'll have nothing to pass down. No ring, no romantic story, just political lecture. Realize I traded experience and symbol for being right about capitalism. Sit at her baby shower, watching her show off ring to everyone gathered. Feel bitter and jealous, but still tell myself I made right choice. Friend leans over and whispers that it's not too late. I could ask for ring. Tell her no. That would mean admitting I was wrong from the beginning. She says, maybe you were wrong though, and that's okay to admit. Walk away from conversation because I refuse to concede on this point. 5 years married, and husband's coworker gets engaged, shows off massive ring. She's gushing about proposal and ring and how special she feels wearing it. Husband congratulates her genuinely, and I stand there with my bare hand clenched. She notices my lack of ring and asks innocently, if I lost mine somewhere, I have to give same explanation I've given 100 times about not believing in them. She says, oh, that's so unique and different. But I hear the judgment clearly. Husband and I drive home in silence after the party, both thinking same thing. He finally says, do you regret it? And I snap at him to stop asking. Tell him I made my choice and I'm living with it, so just drop it. He says, living with it isn't the same as being happy with it though. I don't respond because he's right, but I'll never admit it to him. Scroll through social media and see engagement after engagement with ring photos. Beautiful proposals with ring boxes opened and surprised happy faces everywhere. Think about my proposal at restaurant with no ring, no surprise, just question. It was what I said I wanted, but watching these, I feel robbed somehow. Close app and look at my bare left hand with just thin wedding band. Tell myself for thousandth time that I don't need validation from jewelry. But feeling in my chest says otherwise, says I made mistake years ago. Mistake I can never undo because that moment is gone forever now. Husband comes home with jewelry box. One night says he got me something. Feel heart race. thinking maybe he bought me an engagement ring after all these years. Open box and it's nice earrings for my birthday next week. Thoughtful gift. Feel crushing disappointment even though earrings are beautiful and expensive. He asks if I like them, and I say yes, but he can see I'm upset. Asks what's wrong, and I can't explain without admitting I wanted ring. Tell him nothing is wrong. The earrings are perfect. Thank you so much. Wear them to dinner, but can't stop thinking about the ring I'll never have. 10 years, married now, and younger co-workers getting engaged with gorgeous rings. They ask if I have advice about marriage and engagement and proposals. Tell them to be true to themselves and not bow to societal pressure. They nod politely, but I can see them looking at my bare hand with confusion. One brave girl asks if I regret not having an engagement ring after all these years. Open my mouth to say no, but pause because the lie is getting harder. Tell her I made choice that aligned with my values at the time. She asks if those values changed, and I say no. But my feelings did admit that I think about the ring I don't have more than I'd like to. She looks sad for me and says it's never too late to get one now. Tell her yes. It is because it wouldn't mean the same thing anymore. Walk away from conversation, feeling hollow and angry at myself still. Husband asks on our anniversary if I'm happy with how everything turned out. Look at him and think about the ring he never gave me because I said no. Think about all the moments I missed and the photos without sparkle. Think about the jealousy I still feel decade later when I see rings. Open my mouth to say yes, but the word won't come out this time. He sees my hesitation and says, "You can tell me the truth after all these years." Tell him I don't know anymore what I wanted versus what I said I wanted. Admit that maybe I was performing principles instead of living authentically. Say I look at other women's rings and feel something missing from my life. He's quiet, then asks if he should buy me one now after a decade of marriage. We both know it's not the same. It would be pity ring consolation prize. Say no. Let's just leave it and we sit in silence of my permanent choice. Still post on social media about materialism and engagement, ring industry scam. Still lecture younger women about not falling for diamond propaganda lies. Still act like I'm above wanting the thing I think about constantly. But at night, I scroll through engagement photos and feel the absence. Made my bed with my principles. Now I lie in it alone with regret. Told everyone what I believed, but never asked myself what I actually wanted. Now I'm woman who got exactly what she asked for and hates it. But I'll take this to my grave before admitting I was wrong about rings.